right, so folks, we're going to give a couple minutes here as we always do. Thank you all for being here. Today we're going to talk about fitness and how to achieve your dream body. Amy's actually going to do the introduction here in a minute.
Before we intro, can we, so we discussed, and I'd love to get feedback from you guys. We discussed maybe starting this at like 5:30 for you guys, giving everybody a chance to mastermind beforehand, get to know each other, and then we'll come in at 6 prompt. If that's something you guys want, please put that in the chat so we can know. Again, one of the benefits of this is meeting like-minded individuals. Obviously, when Alan and I are talking the whole time, it makes it a little bit more difficult. But that was actually Natalie's idea. Shout out to Natalie.
Natalie, what's happening?
So
Shannon's on the call too.
5:30. Okay. So if everybody puts their opinion in the chat, maybe we can do that. Just because, again, one of the goals is we want you guys to connect. I did a poll in Hyperconscious Nation recently, and the overwhelming majority of people said that they wanted more like-minded people in their circle, and that is what we want to provide.
All right, so Amy is going to do the introduction, first 5 minutes and last 5 minutes. Amy, you can take it away, and Kevin and I are here for you. You got this. Support for Amy.
Thanks. Thank you. Appreciate that. All right, so welcome, everybody. If you haven't already joined Hyperconscious Nation on Facebook, make sure you do that. We love that group. It's super supportive. Yeah. Also, make sure, I know that I ask this every single week, but we have new people here. So make sure that everybody puts their Instagram handles in the chat so we can all connect with each other and so everyone can network and get to know one another. I will put mine, Alan's, Kevin's, and Tiff's in the chat after I'm done with this. Alan and Kevin are doing free calls for anybody who has not had a free call with either of them or who is not currently one of their clients. So I will put both of their links in the chat as well. So you guys can sign up to connect with them. Tiff has done an amazing job on the Hyperconscious podcast website.
Yeah, Tiff. Shout out to Tiff. Powerful.
Yes, shout out to Tiff. And so if anyone is looking for a web designer, definitely let Tiff know. She is great. We love the website that she did.
So the hyperconsciouspodcast.com was done by Tiff. So if you go there mobile or on a laptop and you just see the first impression, you only get one chance at a first impression. If you're not winning on the digital front, you're not going to win in the future. We all know that. Tiff is your girl if you're trying to design a website. Sorry to Amy. Keep going.
That's okay. It's okay. No worries. So I just want to recap the mastermind last week. We talked about what it really takes to live your dream life. And we sent out the alignment audit for anyone who was on that mastermind. But for anybody who was not there, feel free to reach out to either me, Alan, or Kevin, and we will make sure to send that over to you. Next week's mastermind, we are going to be talking about making sure that your intimate relationship is growing. So talking about check-ins, and I don't remember what else you said, but some other things.
Gratitude, check-in, system of success.
All those. Yep. Thank you.
Welcome.
And then also, if you guys don't know, we are going live on Facebook. So if you don't want to be seen, then feel free to turn your video off.
Strong work, Amy.
Back to you guys.
Strong work.
Very well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm ready, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to week number 20 of the one and only Hyperconscious Mastermind. Today, we are going to be talking about what are the top 10 concepts you must understand to succeed with your long-term fitness goals. Be nice if I could read. Alan is going to be leading this. I will be chiming in, and we will let Jeff take it away.
So one thing I'm going to say to everyone right out of the gate here is that I think this might end up being a little bit of a hardcore version of me, but I think there's a reason why a lot of people aren't in shape. And I am super, super passionate about this topic. So just to provide a little bit of background, I did not take my health and fitness seriously for such a long time. And I think that's part of why I'm so passionate about this, because if you know my story, I did really, really well in corporate America and financially, and in terms of success, you know, the degrees and the accolades and the promotions and all of that. But I wasn't taking my health and fitness seriously. And so while I had outwardly what everyone thinks they want, inwardly, I was very, very unhappy and unfulfilled. And I think it's because I wasn't maximizing my potential and I knew it. So I went from 160 pound skinny fat alcoholic to the person you now see today. And I remember I gained 60 pounds in 6 months. And after that car accident at 26, I decided, you know what? I'm going to go all in on my dreams. I'm going to be a fitness model. I'm going to be a speaker. I'm going to be a podcaster. And so if you know my story, fitness is just such a huge part of it. And I think that many people find themselves yo-yo dieting and yo-yo fitnessing, for lack of better phrasing, their entire life. And they never really master it. And if you never master this arena, it will hurt your self-esteem so much. I don't care if it's health, wealth, or love. If it's money, your own physical fitness, or your intimate relationship, if you don't master the abilities and the skill of really feeling competent in this arena, you'll always be sort of afraid of it. And so I think we all as human beings fear the unknown. And so today I have basically, again, like Kevin said, what are the top 10 concepts that I believe you must understand to succeed long-term in fitness? I posted this today. It was actually from 2 years ago. It was a simple quote, which was basically most people are trying to win in fitness in the short term, like get ready for the beach this summer, or get ready for this wedding, or get ready for this marathon, or whatever it is, when fitness is a long-term game. So you can have short-term goals all day, but you kind of have to decide in advance, like, listen, I'm going to master this thing no matter how hard it is, because the self-esteem on the other side is tremendous. So I have 10 concepts here. Kevin's going to chime in. Feel free to interrupt me literally.
No worries.
Like, just jump in anytime. Anybody can ask questions throughout. I completely encourage it, including Amy, including Natalie on the team now. So reach out anytime in the chat or throughout. Feel free to interrupt me. It's not going to offend me. I think it'll get us to talk from a different angle. So I did personal training for a long time. I, at one point, had about 8 fitness clients. Amy was actually my very first fitness client, which is so cool. That was 2.5 years ago. And so I have kind of a bird's eye view, in my opinion, of the misunderstandings that are really keeping you from achieving your fitness goals. So if you're not happy with your physique right now, the very first thing I want to say is this: extreme ownership. Okay? It's not McDonald's fault. It's not Burger King's fault. If you guys were on the Mastermind with John Laredo, he said life has 3 buckets. Okay? The first bucket is things you have control over. In other words, what you say, think, and do. The second bucket is things you have influence over. I can't control what Kevin says, thinks, and does, but I can influence it with what I say, think, and do. And by the way, I always choose in advance the way I'm reacting to what is said and done to me. And extreme ownership is basically everything I do is my fault, everything I don't do is my fault, everything I say is my fault, everything I don't say is my fault. The third bucket is things we have no influence over. So the fact that McDonald's is the most popular restaurant in the history of the world, you don't have much control over that. So don't concern yourself with it. It is not McDonald's fault. Extreme ownership, the first thing, none of these 10 principles I'm going to give you will matter unless you literally sit here and admit, you know what? I have not mastered this arena. And here's the thing. I don't want you to say to yourself in this training, I already know that. I want you to say, am I doing that? Am I doing that consistently? Have I mastered that? And would my results prove that I've mastered that? The mastery question that I ask myself is, can I consistently and sustainably produce the outcomes that I want in this arena and enjoy the process? Fitness is one of the only arenas that I really, really feel that way. Fortunately, I'm starting to feel that way with cash flow, finances, and my intimate relationship as well, but fitness for sure. I said I wanted to hit 200 pounds. I said that probably 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I'm right on point to be hitting that, okay, to build muscle. So if you don't feel like you can pick a number on that scale and then know exactly what to do to hit it, you have not yet mastered this arena. I could literally take a magic wand and I could take 30 pounds and put it on Kevin. And if Kevin decides he wants to lose that weight, in 30 weeks, there's no question it'll be off if he wants it bad enough. Why? Because he knows how to do it. He's been doing it for 16 years.
COVID did that to me.
Yeah.
COVID put on 15 for me. So.
The COVID 15. Okay, so number 1, an apple a day, Tom Brady at Medway High School, and why consistency is king. So I've said this story before. I was at Medway High School talking to a group of high school athletes, and I was giving a PowerPoint on hyperconscious leadership at the time. Devazio in the house. What's up, man? And basically, I pulled up a slide of Tom Brady with his 6th Super Bowl trophy. And I said, who in here loves Tom Brady? We're in New England, and this is before he moved to what, Tampa?
Tampa, yes.
Tampa.
Yep.
And everyone's hand shoots up, right, with excitement. And next slide, the TB12 method. How to sustain a lifetime of peak performance. I said, who here has read Tom Brady's book. Every hand shoots down. See, we both love Tom Brady, but we love him for very different reasons. I love him for his consistency, his leadership, his habits, goes to bed by 9 p.m. every night. Read the book, it's fire. Okay? So the reason why you love someone or love something is changing the way your association with it. And so here's the point. Tom Brady says verbatim, and I've heard him say this on a video. He said, if you're going to compete with me, you better be ready to give up your life because I've given up mine. Now, you don't need to be as hardcore as Tom Brady, but I will tell you this. If you want to really be in shape, there's a reason most people aren't, and it's because it's difficult. And I think that's going to be a theme throughout this. We can tell ourselves a story all day, like it's supposed to be fun. I'm supposed to like vegetables. No. Everyone hates this stuff. Human nature wants salt, sugar, and fat. If you deny that, you got to read some evolutionary biology. We are wired for that stuff. We are wired to avoid pain, literally. And weight training is painful. Hard workouts are painful. So you got to change your relationship with fitness. Okay. Number 2, the scale, counting calories, and creating a positive relationship with each.
Can I just add to the first one?
Please.
So when it comes to consistency, that is something that with anything people struggle with. One thing to make you more consistent with fitness, either put your stuff out the night before, literally schedule your workouts, or find an accountability partner that's going to help you. Like when I wake up in the morning and I'm doing legs with my buddy Matt, I know he's going to be at the gym, right? When my alarm goes off at 4 a.m., I don't want to go. But I know if I don't go, Matt's workout's not going to be as good. We will do far more for others than we will do for ourselves. So accountability partners are huge.
Fire. And one thing I want to say too, after each principle, and I told Kevin this in advance before I jumped to number 2, Kevin's going to give you one tangible takeaway from each of these deeper understandings where he wants you to write them down and literally take them and run with them. So what's the one golden nugget for number 1?
I would say find an accountability partner. Look, we have people in here that are into fitness. Mia, Cody, Josh, Noel, Jenna, everybody in here is doing something with fitness, right? So find somebody, an accountability partner, say, yo, I get up at this time. I'm at my workout by this time. Help me to stay accountable. That's what I would say.
For a long time on the team, we had people saying, oh, I got up. And then Kevin would say, okay, check. We had like a little check mark.
Yeah.
And accountability is everything. Okay, number 2, the scale, counting calories, and creating a positive relationship with each. So you've probably heard me say this before. We have a relationship with everything. You have a relationship with whether or not you like your own hair. You have a relationship with money. You have a relationship with your friends. You have a relationship with the idea that I can achieve anything I set my mind to. Okay, everything is an association. Everything's a relationship. So when I had allergies back in the day, I used to get allergy shots and it wasn't working. I went to New Hampshire to this special clinic where literally they hooked me up to a computer and they sent signals into my central nervous system of a specific thing that represented dust mites. I was allergic to dust mites. While sending the signal of dust mites to my central nervous system, they stimulated my spine with a little massager. They're changing my central nervous system's association to something that I'm allergic to. An allergy, for those of you who don't know, is just your immune system's overreaction to something that's not actually deadly, that it believes is deadly. Okay, so you are doing that all the time with everything. So every time you step on the scale and cringe, you're creating a negative relationship with the scale. Guys, I did personal training for a long time, and it's very, very clear to me. I want to try to explain something here real quick. There's a reason why certain people can invest in businesses and win most of the time. So for example, one of my mentors, he understands the fundamentals of business so well that he can pick winners. And 80% of the time, give or take, he's right. So when he invests his money, he's investing in the probability of those businesses succeeding based on the fundamentals of business. I see that with fitness. When I look around and I see people's habits and their beliefs and their core values, I can tell whether or not you will ever win. And I mean this with love, but there are certain things outside of alignment. If you have a goal to lose 20 pounds in the next 20 weeks, and I sense a belief that your relationship to food is not positive and that you're scared of food, I know you'll never win. So you have to rewire that. Okay, so check in with your relationships. Do you have a positive relationship with the scale or a negative one? Do you have a positive relationship with the mirror or a negative one? Do you have a positive relationship with food and with calories or a negative one? Okay, do calories use you or do you use calories? Okay, one last thing I'll say on this number 2 here. One thing that I've noticed is, would you bet on yourself that you can achieve the goal? And if the answer is no, ask yourself why that is. Is it because you don't have the right strategy? Is it because you keep breaking promises to yourself? Is it because you haven't made it a must? You got to dig into why you're not winning if you actually want to.
I would say for a takeaway on this, there is so much, like if you were to Google how to lose weight, there will be probably 100 million things that will come up. You can't sell. This is the problem. You can't sell basic weight loss. It's a numbers game for most people. I would hire a coach. Honestly, like if you want to change your accountability or your relationship with a scale, your body, your results or lack thereof, I would hire somebody who knows way more than you and take the guesswork out of it, especially if you're frustrated. Because this is what happens. People don't get results and their natural reaction is to eat less. You get to a certain point where you can't eat any less than you're already eating. And when you're there, that's what causes the yo-yo diet. So I would literally hire a professional. It doesn't have to be somebody super expensive. It can be somebody at your local gym. It can be somebody online. Like, again, there's people in this group that specialize in this. We have people in our lives that we can recommend to you guys as well. So like, that's what I would say. Hire a professional, especially if you're frustrated.
100%. If someone has results that you don't have, it did not fall out of the sky. They either know something you don't, or they're doing something you're not, or a combination of both every time. And so find someone in the seat or the physique that you want and learn from them. Bianca's a great fitness coach. Again, we can recommend a lot of people. Okay, next one. Muscle mass, cardio versus weight training, and why your fear of gaining weight is jeffing you.
Jeffing.
Okay, so muscle mass. I often use the analogy of an investment account versus a savings account. If you have $20,000 right now in a savings account, that's, in my opinion, a very big mistake. Your money's not working for you. You're making a very, very low yield, and that's not a long-term win. Muscle mass, so let me explain this in a tangible way. Let's say Kevin and who's someone who's...
Kevin too.
Okay, let's say Kevin and Amy both go for a 1 mile walk. Okay, they're going at the same pace. They're walking side by side with the same level of intensity for the same duration. Kevin's going to burn almost twice as many calories. Nothing against you, Amy. Does anyone know why? It's because of muscle mass. So you can see the way Kevin eats and think, oh, he's just lucky. He's just got good genetics. Instead of the truth of he's built muscle for 16 years. Okay, we don't want to say that because that doesn't sell programs, right? And that's the thing. He's been tracking calories for...
Yeah, before it was a thing, before it was mainstream, I was tracking my calories in order to diet down for places where I was going to take my shirt off and drink. Not proud of it, but you had to do what you had to do.
We've all been there. If we could post a picture of that, that would be good. Just kidding. Okay, so cardio versus weight training. I think of cardio. Okay, so let's say Kevin and I both want to go to the gym and burn 500 calories today. Let's say he burns 500 calories weight training. I burn 500 calories doing cardio. See, one of them compounds because he retains more muscle mass. One of them is a short-term win. Nothing against cardio. Cardiovascular health is important, but what you need to realize is that weight training is the leverage point. If you look at someone with a strong physique, here, we'll just do this. Football players. Okay, what are they doing? They eat a lot of food. They have performance-based strength training. They're constantly in the gym. They're doing HIIT training all the time because they're in and out of the huddle. Okay, marathon runners. Nothing against marathon runners, but in terms of aesthetics, it's a different look, right? Fitness is simply the body adapting to that which you are doing. Your body does not know you're in a well-lit gym in a safe environment lifting weights. It thinks, oh my God, I'm hunter-gatherer. I need to be able to lift this weight and retain this muscle in order to survive. We've lost sight of the fundamental. Your body will adapt to whatever you're doing, and by the way, whatever you're not doing. So weight training is the leverage point. Muscle mass is what you're really after. That's the thing that compounds. Go ahead.
So to add to that, and I talked about this earlier, but most people want to diet to their ideal weight. That's great. But at some point, you're going to have to put on muscle. So I can lose weight at a higher level than most people because I have more muscle. I can eat 2,700 calories a day and lose weight. I've reverse dieted enough times. I lost weight, I gained muscle. I lost weight, I gained muscle. So that's another reason why it's so important. If you're only going by cutting calories, you're going to hit the floor eventually. If you add muscle to your frame, you will build that floor up. If you rinse and repeat, you can be at a heavier weight and look better than you ever have. because you have more muscle on you.
Fire. Strong word. Strong
Appreciate
word.
that.
Absolutely, brother. So this is a fundamentally misunderstood thing. If you chase two rabbits, you'll catch neither. Most people I notice are trying to lose weight and gain muscle simultaneously. Unless you're on steroids, that is not a winnable game. It's not. For a natural athlete, you're wasting your time. You can only have one priority. So my goal right now is to get to 200 pounds on 197.5. And by the way, take note of how clear I am on both my goal and where I'm at. You go into a mall, you look at the directory. Where do you want to shop? Foot Locker. Okay, where am I now? It's a little arrow saying I'm here now. If I were to ask every single one of you, what is your goal weight? Would you be able to answer? And if the answer is not, why not? Now, I'm going to get into the scale only being an objective measurement of body composition in a minute, and Kevin will be able to clarify this because this is such a misunderstood thing. But here's what I will say. Do it in cycles. There's two main cycles to fitness. Number one, focus on building muscle and strength and gaining weight. You cannot build muscle without gaining mass, okay? Number two, try to burn fat while retaining the muscle. I'm going to let you in on a misunderstanding. Without steroids or performance-enhancing drugs, from my perspective, it is very, very hard to build muscle and not gain fat, okay? It's also very, very hard, if not impossible, to burn fat without losing muscle. So if you spend your whole life trying to lose weight, unfortunately, you're mostly losing muscle, especially if you're doing cardio. Now, this is going to be a big mirror for a lot of people, but I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm trying to really help you because there's a reason most people aren't in shape, and it's because this is so misunderstood, and the fitness industry is a tornado of misinformation. Okay. Number four. Your lymphatic system, cerebral fluid, and why sleep is life-changing. Did you end up having a takeaway on number 3?
Yeah, man.
What's the main takeaway?
Of the muscle mass. If you can literally, you have to lift because if you're not lifting, you're going to hit the floor on calories and then you're going to have nowhere to go.
Right. Okay, number 4, your lymphatic system, cerebral fluid, and why sleep is life-changing. Okay, so the 5 fundamental pillars of natural fitness, and these are the things that aren't sexy. Sleep, hydration, nutrition, training, and mobility. If there had to be a 6th, it would be oxygen. I know I went through those fast. I'll talk about them soon.
Sleep is sexy.
Sleep is sexy?
Sleep is sexy.
I appreciate that. I'm a big fan. I didn't get enough sleep last night. But okay, so right now, if I were to jump up and down, I have a lymphatic system that would take the waste from my cells and filter it out. Okay? Your brain doesn't have that. Okay? So when you're sleeping and you're in REM sleep, your cerebral fluid goes into your brain, and they're actually linking lack of sleep to Alzheimer's, by the way, because if you're getting poor sleep and you're kicked out of REM constantly, you're not getting rid of the junk from your cells. And so here's what I'll tell you. If you want to be consistent in fitness, you're going to have to be in a resourceful state. If you want to be in a resourceful state, you're going to have to get good sleep. People think that I'm lazy because I always get my 8 hours. I'm not lazy. I'm into performance. Tom Brady sleeps 9 hours a night every night. Read his book, right? And if you want to be optimally functioning physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, you're not going to be able to be tired. If you're constantly tired, you're not going to want to go to the gym. Okay?
Done with that one?
Yeah.
So I would say probably 70% of the people I come across say, I only need like 6 hours of sleep. According to studies, there's 1% of people walking this planet that get between 4 and 6 hours of sleep and can function at a real high level. Like,
Wait, can I say something?
Oh, absolutely.
So when you say 9 hours of sleep, minus that from 24, how do you maximize 18 hours of productivity, right? So a lot of the people that want to do those 3 mini days, the 6 hour, 6 hour, 6 hour, for me, I'm like only getting about like 5 to 6 hours of sleep. So what would there would be a paradigm shift, or what would you do to kind of coach me through that?
So I appreciate the question. Absolute fire. I would say this. I would say I would rather have a really peak performing 18 hours than a spotty 20. And so I'm not saying to get 9 hours. Tom Brady is excessive. And I don't mean that in a negative way. He's a peak performing world-class athlete. He's the best in the world at what he does, and it's physical, right? So I'm not getting 9 hours either. The point I'm trying to make is that I think, and here's the last piece I'll say too, REM sleep. Like, imagine young mothers know this. If you're getting kicked out of REM, so yesterday I was at Emilia's place and the fire alarm went off twice. So if I'm struggling today, that's part of why, and I've talked to Kevin about this. He's like, dude, I can tell you're off. I'm like, I know, man, bad sleep. I got kicked out of REM twice last night, from a fire alarm. There was no fire. Everything's good. We're good. The fire alarm's jeffing, yeah, as they say.
Yep.
But it's not the amount of time you spend in bed, it's the amount of time you spend in REM. So I would say focus on, yes, the 8 hours, but that's arbitrary. Figure out what it is for you where you feel like an overflowing cup of abundance. You can tell when you're not resourceful. And here's the problem. If 6 hours of sleep becomes normal, you don't know what it's like to perform optimally because you're like the frog in the pot of boiling water. If you put the frog in a pot of boiling water, he'll jump right out. But if you slowly bring it to a simmer, he'll get cooked to death. What if you've been doing that with your sleep? One of my main business coaches early on, and I won't name any names, she doesn't get enough sleep in my opinion. And she's an ultra marathon runner. And I remember thinking to myself, like, oh my God, that is such a long-term loss in my opinion. So I would just say I'd rather have a peak performing 18 hours than a spotty 20.
I would say if you can go to bed earlier, go to bed. Like, I know you're part of the 4 a.m. club, Jacob, I believe. I as well, but I try to go to bed at like 8:39. I mean, I know it's easier said than done, but for me, I have made sleep a priority. Like, it has to be I don't care what's on TV. Like, if I don't get my sleep, like today's a 17 or 18 hour day, and I'm like dragging a little bit, but I got enough sleep where it's like, it's going to be okay.
What's your night routine? What's your, like, real quick, I just want to know how you guys unwind, because it's hard since I'm mental chatter and trying to get my good sleep in. I have tough time just getting into REM.
Jacob, are you training really hard? Are you like training hard weights?
Oh yeah, I'm lifting every day, 7 days a week.
Savage.
Okay, that would have been the place I would start, because normally if your mind is, because if you beat your body up in a good way, you'll be able to fall asleep easier. What would be your suggestion?
I would say turn down the lights. They make nighttime meditations. Throw on some gentle music. Like, get rid of your cell phone. Don't have your TV on. Any of that stuff.
I'm not the right person to ask because I can fall asleep in a heartbeat.
It's unreasonable.
When we're traveling.
We get on a plane and he's like, all right, man, I'll see you when we get there.
And then I wake up and we're there. It's the best. It's like teleportation. It's brutal.
We have a question.
Emmerich, what do we got? I saw
any suggestions for a nursing mom?
Oh boy.
So I had a client so Shannon, you're a client as well. So I had a different client who, business owner, newborn baby, and basically she had a night nurse and she pumped milk instead. So I would say, and I know your specifics, you do well in business. So like I would hire potentially a night nurse, and as long as you make far more money per hour than you pay the night nurse, that's actually a leverage point because you're buying yourself performance. And we can definitely talk about that offline as well, Shannon.
I would say contact the other mothers in the group that have dealt with that, because I definitely don't have any knowledge of that. I'll be honest. It's not my strong suit.
Body scan.
There we go.
Appreciate that, Shannon. That's awesome. Okay, body scanning meditation helps me with. Nice. Yeah, everybody throw their suggestions in. We want this to be a community thing. Fire questions. Thank you all for engaging. Appreciate that.
I try to be many things. I'm not a mom, so I will always admit that.
Not yet. I'm just kidding. All right. Number 5. Pick a quantifiable target, what the scale really is, and why your body comp is what you're really after. I think you can probably describe the body comp part because I think that's fire for you. So I would say pick a target. I would say, I remember I was at a speech, Confident Women's Consortium, and one of our buddies, Matt, is just in ridiculously good shape and very much a peak performer in this arena, stronger than Kevin and myself. Sorry, man.
No, you're good.
But he's a savage. And I remember saying, like, Matt has no idea I'm going to do this. Matt, what's your current goal weight? He shouts out a number immediately. Matt, what's your current weight? Shouts out a number immediately. Okay, Matt, when were you supposed to get there? And he was joking. He said 2 weeks ago. But like the point, and I said, everyone in this room, I want you to realize there's a reason Matt looks the way he does. He knows exactly where he is. He knows exactly where he's going, and he knows exactly how to get there. My current weight, 197.5. My goal weight, 200. I'm going to be there in less than 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. Kev, what's your goal weight?
Don't do it right now.
Right,
goal weight's 175. I don't know what my current weight is because I'm jeffing.
Okay.
Straight up.
Kevin has actually admitted like fitness is not a priority right now.
Yeah.
So he's choosing not to make it a priority. And I don't know if that's right or wrong. I'm not going to say anything.
During COVID, it was easy to hammer out 12, 13, 14, 15-hour days because I was just home. And now that the gym's there, I go just about every day. But for me, it's just getting back into the swing of things, making sure my body's good. Fitness has taken a little bit of a backseat to business lately. Okay. Body comp. So most people think they want to lose weight. What you really want, rather than the scale number, is body composition. So one of my fitness coach, I'll never forget this. I was in the gym. My fitness coach, his name's Nate Smithson, awesome guy, knows more about fitness than anyone I know.
And he literally, I was 220 pounds at the time, 6'1". Okay. This is when I gained 60 pounds in 6 months. And this really turned my fitness around. And he's like, Alan, I'm 220 as well. He's 6'4", a muscle mass monster, looks so good. And I remember going, what am I missing? He said, most of the weight you gained was fat. You did it too fast. And I was all in after that. That was my humbling moment where I just learned from him. I picked his brain. I talked to him 2 weeks ago. We've talked every month for the last literally 4.5 years. Okay. I learned from him. Most of what I know is from him, Matt, and Kevin. So find someone in shape and learn from them. You do not know everything you need to know. Trust me. That's why we look to David Meltzer for podcasting. That's why we're with Mark Metry. Like you gotta surround yourself with peak performers. Okay.
I would say, so it's kind of hard to explain, but like I said before, you could weigh 125 pounds now. If you diet correctly and then gain muscle mass, you could weigh 132 pounds and look better than you did at 125. So many people have an aversion to gaining weight because in their mind, they think it's going to make them look worse. When I cut to 175 pounds, I will look better than I've ever looked in my entire life, even at 155 pounds, because I'm going to be bigger, I have more muscle mass, and I'll probably be leaner because of that. So it's a hard concept to understand. But when you're aiming for a goal, don't just aim for the number on the scale. Alan pick a quantifiable target. Who is your dream physique, right? It doesn't have to be Superman. It doesn't have to be a supermodel. But like, what is a realistic goal that you could hit? Aim for that versus saying, I want to weigh 125 pounds. You can do a starvation diet to get to 125 pounds, but you don't want that. It's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. Worry more about your composition and your muscle versus fat than your actual weight.
So huge shout out to my beautiful girlfriend and Bianca on the Y Power podcast. So Bianca gave me permission to tell this story. Okay. Shout out to Bianca. I've literally had people tell me, Alan, I don't want to look like Bianca. Okay. You won't. You're not going to stumble upon that physique. Everything she's doing and not doing is predicated on the way she wants to look. She squats 315. She squats more than me. This idea of I don't want to be bulky, it's holding you back from your dreams. Get rid of that. Muscle mass equal good. Period. End of story. If you don't, it's like investing. If you don't invest now, you'll never be financially free no matter how much money you make. We've all seen those millionaires who win the lottery and they're broke in 2 or 3 years because they didn't have the habits underneath the lottery to keep the money. Build the habits now. Muscle mass is the cure-all. The more muscle mass you have, it keeps compounding and keeps giving you returns. Kevin and I can go do the same workout. Well, that's actually a bad example because I think our set point is probably about the same.
How dare you?
You don't think so?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay. I was like, I think I'm about 2,700 calories. I could probably lose weight on that too. But anyway, so muscle mass is a good thing. You're not going to stumble upon Arnold Schwarzenegger's physique. You're not going to stumble upon looking too bulky. The physique that you want, choose in advance, prime your reticular activating system to go for that, and make sure you're headed towards that vision. And don't let the fear of looking bulky stop you from building muscle. If you're not building muscle now, it never gets easier, guys. The human body gets worse over time. I'm sorry to say it, unless you do the habits to make it better. It's never going to be easier in the history of our life for Kevin and I to build muscle than it is right now. We have a biological clock. So if you're not investing now, it's just like a 401k. You don't invest now, right? Same idea. Okay.
Have you noticed a change? I've noticed it's a little bit harder.
Oh, yeah. Unfortunately.
Yeah, getting old.
Yeah.
19 minutes just
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Number 6, calories in versus calories out. How clean eats is only half the battle, and why tracking raises awareness. Do you want to do this one? Because you know this very well.
Yeah, so there's a thing called the law of thermodynamics, basically states calories in versus calories out. Now, I'm not going to tell you that that's how you should eat. I want you to eat healthy. You don't have to eat Pop-Tarts and ice cream. A lot of people do that. There's this thing called if it fits your macros. You don't have to go that route. But what you'll hear a lot of people say is, what did you eat today? Well, I had a salad. I had chicken, broccoli, and rice. I had sweet potato. I had this. I had this. How much did you have? Because I can eat 2,500 calories worth of ice cream and lose weight. You can eat under your caloric needs for the day of ice cream and lose weight. If you eat more than you need in any food, you will gain weight. Doesn't matter if it's chicken. It doesn't matter if it's broccoli. It doesn't matter if it's rice. So a lot of people think that it's the quality of the food. Yes, it is for performance, for overall health. When it comes to weight loss, it really is very much the number. Okay, so if you have to be tracking in some form, I've had a lot of people say, I want to lose weight intuitively. It's very hard to lose weight with your intuition if you've never gauged your intuition, right? How many calories does 2 tablespoons of peanut butter have?
180.
180, 190, right? Like that, when you have that number in your mind, you know what
The only
two
reason we know
tablespoons
that
looks
is
like.
because we tracked for years.
Right.
It's the only reason we know that.
I have a game with Taryn where I literally say, like, this is 32 grams of peanut butter. Boom. And then I put it in. It's usually 31 or 32. But I've been doing this for years. So,
Amelia and I do that too.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
So but just like anything else, if you guys have never done this, you have to start by tracking. You have to have the training wheels on, and then you can kind of freestyle it. I'm freestyling it right now, not saying I'm doing it well.
Quick story. So my mentor that I mentioned earlier, he's a very private guy, so I never say his name publicly, but he was the CEO of a lot of billion-dollar tech companies, like two, not a lot.
Hundreds.
Honestly, but he's on the chair of several, so I just, right. This is the point. He's mastered money. He's mastered business big time, okay? He has not mastered fitness, in my opinion. And he's hardcore with me, and I'm hardcore with him. And I tell him straight up, like, listen, this is not what you think it is. He's like, I just feel like my body doesn't want to lose weight. Oh, my God. Like, it doesn't want to lose weight. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the fact that you've never tracked a calorie in your life. He told me, he said, yeah, but red wine doesn't have a lot of calories. I screenshotted Wolfram Alpha, 9 ounces of red wine, 212 calories. I sent it to him. Who told you that red wine doesn't have a lot of calories? You just spent 2.5 years with the incorrect belief, making decisions that red wine doesn't have a lot of calories. And you didn't make progress for 2.5 years because you were drinking something based on a false belief. You need to track because your awareness of what's in what foods is too low. And I told you guys I was going to be hardcore. I'm sick and tired of watching people fail for the rest of their life and not find the truth. With my mentor, just like you, if you don't know how many calories are in 2 tablespoons of peanut butter, like Kevin and I just did that, then you should track because it's going to raise your awareness. Success comes from good decisions. You can't make good decisions if you're unaware. Just like,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sorry, we have a question.
What do we got?
Does it come down to the total amount of calories you intake a day, or do you need to have a certain percentage of protein, carbs, and fats?
All you.
I would say both matter. The most important is calories in versus calories out. I want you to really think about what Kevin said. Kevin can literally eat 2,500 calories of just ice cream today. Swear to you. And he will actually lose weight. I'm not kidding. This is science. I could prove it.
I always tell people don't do what I do because, first of all, you don't see what I do. You don't see the cardio. You don't see the heavy squats, the heavy deadlifts. You don't see that. But the other thing is, like, I usually only eat 1 big meal a day. So I've eaten probably 500 calories today. I've been up since 4. I don't even know what time it is. I don't know what the clock is. But when I go home, I am going to hammer food. Now, it's going to look like I'm gorging myself. I don't even know if I'll hit my calories today.
I want to be as clear as I can about this point. I'm not saying to eat dirty. I'm saying focus on calories. I haven't eaten fast food since Amy, Tiff, and I made that pact of the give up list. Haven't had fast food once. I was eating protein Quest cookies instead from a convenience store instead of the Dunkin' Donuts I normally hammer before the gym. The calories matter most. Macros are next. There's a pyramid, okay? Don't focus all of your energy on eating clean. Focus energy on the right amount of calories, then make it clean, okay? Priority matters. Okay, number 7. Why power, the 25 reasons and the journey of 1,000 miles. When I used to do fitness coaching, the very first thing I did with people was 2 exercises. One of them was I want you to write out your top 10 associations. Who has your heart? Okay, this can be your sister, brother, mother, grandmother, you name it, friends, family, you name it. I want you to write out all their names and put me on this list too, okay? I want you to rate them on 2 things. Number 1, the dedication to their fitness goals. Number 2, I want you to rate them from 0 to 10. No one's going to see this list on their physique. And I want you to notice something. The dedication comes first. You will never see someone with a 10 physique with a 2 dedication unless they're a genetic masterpiece. And even then, they're doing things you're not aware of, trust me. Or they're on performance-enhancing drugs. That's a thing too. And I don't even want to get into that, okay? The journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. You don't have to master all this right away, but you have to choose in advance to master it. I've chosen in advance to master money. I want to be the master of money, not money master me. I've chosen in advance to master fitness. I want to be the master of the scale, the master of food, the master of my own physique. I don't want it the other way around. Same with my relationship. That's why we have the check-ins. That's why we're doing a mastermind next week on that. Okay. We want to be able to consistently and sustainably move forward, and you got to choose in advance.
Yeah, I would
Can I
say.
add something? Oh,
Go ahead.
so what are your guys' thoughts on red meat? Personally, I've stayed away from it just because of how I feel. But how about you guys?
Hammer it.
I would say there is no one size fits all approach to fitness. There's only principles. We're giving you the principles. I love red meat. I think Kevin likes chicken and turkey
I
mostly.
literally eat turkey and rice just about every day. Like I have pounds of it in the fridge and the freezer. That's what I'm cooking tomorrow. For me, it's like simple. I don't really care too much about what I'm eating.
Try to focus on simplicity more than anything. But here's what I will say: if it puts you in an unresourceful state, I'm going to give you one of the misbeliefs. I think people focus way too much on what they're eating and not enough on how much. That will be clear. The priority is how much you eat. The next priority is what you're eating, in my opinion, when it comes to your physical weight loss and your physical physique, okay? It's important to get micronutrients in. It's, of course, important to eat clean. But it's when it comes to weight loss and your fitness goals, you really do have to dial in this calorie thing. And so what I'll say is red meat, if it makes you feel terrible, I would say stay away from it. Try to eat things that put you in a resourceful state so that you don't feel lethargic and not want to go to the gym.
Yeah, I would second that.
Cool. Fire. Number 8, the tornado of misinformation, shiny object syndrome, and Jenny's question about L-glutamine. Okay, so yeah, got to do it. So I was in the kitchen with my ex-girlfriend, and I remember her turning to me and asking, we were making dinner, Ellen, what do you think of L-glutamine? And I said, honestly, sweetheart, until you're sleeping enough, hydrating enough, eating the right amount of calories every day, training every single day, and doing mobility, L-glutamine does not matter. Stop chasing the extremities and worrying about them when you're not doing the fundamentals. The fundamentals are all that matters. And by the way, you can't sell sleep, hydration, nutrition, training, and mobility. Trust me, I tried. Doesn't work. But here's the truth. Consistently doing the fundamentals is what actually brings success. It's not that workout you see someone doing on Instagram that looks pretty on camera and gets 2,000 views. Okay? It's actually the sucky fundamentals of weight training and bench press and squats and stuff like that. Okay, so the stuff you see on Instagram is not necessarily what got them the physique. That's just what they're showing because that's what gets views. And there's a reason why 6-minute abs sells so many programs. Okay, it's because we want the quick, easy fix, but there really isn't one. And that's kind of what, the theme is here. Okay, tornado of misinformation. The fitness industry is constantly trying to convince you that you need these external things to succeed. When the truth of the matter is you need to sleep enough, hydrate enough, train enough, eat the right amount of calories, and stay mobile and healthy. Okay? Now, don't listen to the nonsense. What if you decided right now to say, you know what, I'm going to master fitness no matter what it takes. I'm going to stop listening to all the nonsense, and I'm going to really just focus on these pillars that actually matter. You'd crush it, and everyone else would be like, oh my God, what are you doing? What are you doing? And Kevin would be like, I mastered the fundamentals for 16 years. And they'd be like, oh, that sucks. It's not shiny. It's not sexy. But it is the truth. Okay? In 5 years from today, you could have your dream physique. You really could. But guess what? It's not going to be 5 days from now. It's not going to be the summer. Right? And that sucks. It sucks to hear that. When we sell programs, it's like, oh, get your dream body in 30 days. BS. Yeah, right. Not going to happen. Okay. Number 9, why being sexy isn't sexy. Going in cycles. And Muhammad Ali's deciding in advance to be world champion. Muhammad Ali used to say this quote that I love. He said, I hated every 5 a.m. workout, but I loved being world champion. I am, Noel, you're like, yeah. I appreciate that. I get a lot of slack for saying this, but here's what I believe. I think fitness, I think you got to get rid of this idea that it's supposed to be fun. You can try to make it fun. But honestly, if your workouts aren't painful, are you really pushing it? I mean, like, everything you love right now, you learned to love, right? The first time you rode a bike, you probably fell down and hated it. Weight training kind of sucks. I don't want to weight train tonight. Genuinely, don't want to do it. I'm exhausted. It's been a long day. I'm going no matter what. There is nothing that will stop me from going tonight. Unless I'm literally physically incapable of doing it, my car could break down and I'll find a way to train. Okay, that's the level of commitment I've chosen. I told myself after quarantine, when the gyms open up, I will exercise every day for the rest of my life. Okay, that doesn't mean I'm going to do a 3-hour gym session. It means if I'm physically capable, I want to prove that I'm grateful for my body to the universe by training. You think you're grateful for your health? Prove it. Prove it with your actions. I told you guys I was going to be hardcore, but seriously, prove it. A lot of people, oh yeah, I'm grateful. Oh, you're not? I know, because I wasn't either. I was drinking alcohol too frequently. I wasn't taking care of my health. I've been guilty of that. I'm not trying to be mean. I have compassion. Trust me. You saw that picture of me, 160 pound with a drink in my hand. Miserable. Okay? This is what it really takes. Get rid of this idea that you're supposed to enjoy it, and I promise you, you'll love the physique and the results that you get, and you'll have self-esteem. It's this idea of, well, I don't really like weight training. Well, the physique you told me you wanted requires weight training. You can't have a goal and not want the behavior necessary to achieve it. And then beat yourself up your whole life that you're not getting it. You either get rid of the goal or decide to actually step up and do what it takes. Okay.
Hammering.
Wait, hold on.
Hammer it.
What do we got?
We have 2 questions. So the first one is, if the physique you want is worth it, if you can get it in 6 months, then isn't it still worth it if it takes you 3 years or 5 years? And actually, if you are putting that much investment into it, isn't it more worth it, or worth it more?
I think that's a hypothetical question.
I think so too.
Okay.
Anyway, I just wanted to read it out loud because
The
it was.
answer is hell yes.
And then the second question is, what about rest days? A lot of strength coaches recommend rest days to build and repair muscles.
I'm all for it. I take 2 rest days a week. I lift heavy. So I always have to take rest days because my body will tear down. I try to lift pretty heavy, especially for my weight. I'm pretty strong. So yeah, I try to do 2 a week. Jeff doesn't.
I'm not against rest days, but I will say this. If you struggle with consistency, you got to make it a daily must. John Maxwell book, super simple, Today Matters. He said the reason I wrote the book Today Matters is because today matters. If we podcast, right, and it's like we have 430 episodes, it's a part of our identity. The human condition, you need to make it a part of your identity. I remember when I first said I'm a bodybuilder, I traded the label of alcoholic in for bodybuilder. And I wrote an article about it. And I remember everyone being like, oh, you're a bodybuilder now? You're a bodybuilder, right? Like your arms are too big, like all that. And honestly, it was really painful for a while. And I understand. But at the same time, it's like no one questions that now. The problem is, are your actions convincing you? My fear is this, and I saw this 1,000 times when I was fitness coaching. You're going to say, I'm going to go 3 times a week, and you're not going to go. There's too much ambiguity. There's too much uncertainty. I told Emilia the other day, I said, when I wake up in the morning, I'm thinking immediately I look at my calendar, where am I going to the gym? It's in my circle of concern. I go every day. So if you struggle with consistency, I would say no, here's the thing. I set my timer for 40 minutes. I was in the gym with her yesterday. We set our timer in the parking lot for 40 minutes. We finish our last set as soon as that timer comes off, and we're gone. So I'm not in there for 3 hours. So I do every day shorter bursts. He does more intense workouts, not necessarily every day. But remember, he doesn't struggle with consistency.
And I do cardio too. I box I do 12 rounds of boxing at the end of some of my workouts. So my body is usually destroyed.
Again, there's no one size fits all. There's only principles. Consistency is the key. If you can stay consistent and not go every day, I would say it's okay to take rest days. If you struggle with consistency, try to lower the bar and have that daily boost every day. Cool? Good stuff?
Good stuff. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah, good.
Good. Got that good. Okay, number 10, narrowing your circle of concern, keeping it simple, and falling in love with the mundane fundamentals. So I think that to kind of wrap up here, we got 4 minutes left. So Amy, I'm going to let you do the wrap up in a minute.
No, that's 4 minutes with 5 left.
Oh, it is? Oh, okay, cool. All right, so I got some time. No, okay. Okay, so I think that a lot of us have too many concerns to be effective. Who is it? Is it Brendan Burchard or Bob Proctor who said the main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing? I'm going to say that again. The main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. So Emilia knows this. If her and I aren't good, we have what's referred to as an emergency check-in. And I'm not going to be out trying to make my friendships good when Emilia and I are not rock solid. Okay? The main things in your life, you got to decide and narrow your circle of concern where if these aren't good, everything else is not getting chased. If my physical fitness is not my top priority, I will spend the rest of my life regretting that eventually. I'll never be in shape. If you don't wake up in the morning and think to yourself like I do, when am I going to the gym? Where am I going to the gym? What workout am I going to do? Uncertainty creates lack of action. If you're uncertain about what to do or how to do it or who to do it with or where you're going, I have my gym bag on me 24/7. It's right there. It's right there. And no, I didn't mean to flex on that. Ask anybody. I can work from anywhere. I'm evergreen. I'm always gym ready. I have my gym clothes in my bag right there. Always. You won't catch me without a water bottle. You won't catch me without my system of success. You won't catch me without a gym bag. And when people ask, how are you in such good shape? I could say 7 years of always being gym ready, going to the gym every single day. Like, they don't want to hear that, right? They want to hear the quick tips. There is no quick tip. The secret is there is no secret. The secret is that fitness sucks. There's a reason most people aren't in shape, and it's because they're not taking it seriously enough. And that's the hard truth. And I told you guys at the beginning I was going to be hardcore, and that's all I've got.
So just to kind of add, Alan's a little bit more hardcore on this than I am. In my opinion, just get 1% better every day. If you don't do anything for exercise, start at home. I don't like do hit workout, high intensity interval training workouts at home. Do burpees, do push-ups, do air squats. If you don't have equipment, use whatever you have. Just start. If you can get 1% better, that's fine. Especially now where gyms are like kind of a sketchy place for a lot of people. Maybe your gym isn't even open right now because you're in a different state than us. If that's the case, just start. That's it. Like, and I always do this with my podcast clients. Just start. Like, just start. Don't worry about it. We'll figure it out as we go. You don't have to be squatting 500 pounds off the bat. Like, just start. Get 1% better. So I'm a little bit less intense when it comes to that, but that's what I would say. Yes, Noelle, she does workouts on Zoom. There you go. There's your connection right there. Just start at the end of the day. It's the most important.
Can I add something really quick?
Of course you can. You guys are both
just because for some of you that might be my age, I'm 43. 5 years ago, I went from overweight on the couch to a pro bodybuilder in 9 months. But what I did was found things I love to do. So I love to dance. So that was my cardio, was Zumba. I love people. So I hired coaches and found people I enjoyed being around to make me lift the weights. So if you find people like, I'm 5 months pregnant. The only reason I work out is because we do these free Zooms. People get on them and I have to work out. But I enjoy seeing the people and the love and the fun. That was just my little added thing.
I appreciate that, Noelle. And yes, you have a tremendous physique. Both you two are such leading examples in the fitness arena. And I appreciate that. And here's one more thing too. You think you want a six-pack. What you really want is self-esteem. Okay? The six-pack, I've had one. It's not what you think it is. You want to keep the promises you make to yourself, and you want to actually be proud of who you've become. Okay? My clients come to me and they think they want, an incredible beach body. What you really want is to stop breaking the promises you've made to yourself. And I see people, the reason why I get so fired up, guys, is because I care, because I've been there. It took me 5 years to quit drinking. For so long, I was living below my potential. Oh my God. For way too long. I was the tall, skinny guy, lanky. I'm telling you, if people haven't convinced you that being in shape is awesome. I remember I was in the airport with Kevin and I said, look around, man. Like, we're so blessed. So many people are in so much pain. Like, the only way, what is it? Mark Twain, he says, you can't be poor enough to help someone else become wealthy. Well, you can't be out of shape enough to help someone else get in shape. Lead by example. Be in shape. Yes, it's feedback. Noelle, you can speak to this. Like, when you're in really good shape, sometimes people can't handle it. They don't like it. You walk into a room and they have an aversion. Okay? But that's a mirror they have to look in.
I've actually had people tell me, like, I want to get in shape, but I don't want to look like you. And I'm like, you're not going to accidentally look like me.
Exactly. You're not going to stumble upon this physique. This was calculated, right?
I've actually also had people tell me, like, I've been working on gut health and eating well for 2 weeks, but I don't have a six-pack. I'm like,
Hey.
well, you done any abs?
I know. 2 weeks. So I hope that this was super helpful. I know that I'm really hardcore in this arena, but it's because I'm sick and tired of this industry lying to you. I'm sick and tired of it. Honestly, it isn't pretty, but it is the truth. The fundamentals are all that matters. And I know it's time to wrap up. So thank you all so much.
Yes, we appreciate you guys. Amy, play us out, will you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Sorry, I was in the middle of trying to find something.
Oh, you're good.
That's not what I want. Okay. Sorry, guys. Hold on.
You're good.
Okay. So again, just to kind of reiterate for anybody who wasn't here at the beginning, if you are not already in the Hyperconscious Nation, make sure that you join on Facebook. It's such a wonderful group. It's super supportive. We all love it. If you have not put your Instagram handles in the chat, please feel free to do that so we can all connect with each other and so you guys can connect with each other and network. I put the links for Kevin and Alan's free 30-minute calls also in the chat. I will put it there again for anybody who has not had a free call with either of them, or if you guys aren't a client of theirs, then you can get a free 30-minute call. Tiff designed our amazing website, so if you or anybody that you know is looking for somebody to design a website, then feel free to reach out to Tiff. She's incredible at what she does.
She is. She's the best. Yeah.
And then, so last week, again, we talked about what it really takes to live your dream life. And if anybody wants the alignment audit that we came up with, feel free to reach out to Kevin, Alan, or myself.
Amy and I worked super hard. Sorry to interrupt you, Amy. You and I worked super hard on that alignment audit. It was funny because I was in bed with my girlfriend and I was like struggling to get everything done, right? And she's like, have you done the alignment audit yet? I was like, I haven't. I'm so sorry.
I saw it come through at midnight. I was like, oh, man, good for you.
She's literally like, I think your subconscious created that because it's what you need. And she was absolutely right. I needed to prune the rose bush so that it could flourish because I'm trying to do too many things. So I'm eating my own cooking. The alignment audit is fire. If you feel like you're in over your head, the alignment will get your goals, behaviors, core values, and beliefs in order. And we design those questions, Amy and I, really, really well. So if you want that, reach out.
Oh, yeah. Next week, we are going to be talking about making sure your intimate relationship is growing. So gratitudes, check-in, system of success, whatever else comes with that. I don't know. All the love.
And love got to do.
And Noelle just put the link to her Facebook group, Fearless and Fortunate, in the chat for free workouts. So if you guys are interested in doing that, then feel free to check it out. I mean, it looks like it's amazing. I'm going to be joining it. So I encourage all of you guys to join as well.
Yeah. Fire.
Strong
also,
work, Amy.
We said this in the beginning. For those of you who weren't here in the beginning, we're going to open these up at 5:30 for you guys to mastermind. You can get each other's numbers. You can whatever it is. If you have a business, talk about your business, whatever. That's one of the most valuable things of this is you guys are connecting with people who think like you, who act like you, who want better, who are into growth, into hyperconsciousness. So we will not be here at 5:30, but this room will be open. Maybe we will, and we'll field questions or whatever. So we just wanted to say that, and I think that's it.
This was awesome.
This was awesome.
Thank you all for showing up. This is a great showing today, and I hope it was valuable. Reach out anytime, please. We want you to engage. We appreciate you all so much. And strong work, Amy.
Yes, very well done.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate that.
You did awesome. You did awesome.
You will see on Instagram tomorrow, 4:06 a.m. roughly. I will be on the foam roller getting after it. Anybody who wants to join me, send me a message. Let's see what time you get up. Let's get after it.
Nice.
Challenge
Accountability
accepted.
is everything. All right, everybody. We will talk to you soon. Reach out.
Bye.
Bye.